Hi guys, today's project is going to be a mermaid crown from a Stitch for You on Etsy. I am using the glitter canvas vinyl from Kids Custom Design, and this is the Vegas gold color. Okay, right now my machine is doing the tack down stitch for the crown, and currently it is doing the outline for the seashell. If you can see here, I like to clip the threads while I go through the steps, just so that they don't get mangled. Now this is only my third crown that I've ever made, so I'm going to show you a couple of mistakes that I made. Like right here, I shouldn't have used the tip of a paintbrush, but I did, and what happened was it moved the vinyl, and so you'll see in a minute where it didn't stitch the pink vinyl, and I'll show you. I'll better explain it to you when I take it out. So if you see right here, it didn't, there's no material, so there's just a stitch on the Vegas gold, but that's okay because when it does the top stitch, it'll cover it up. So instead of thinking that you've wasted a project or made a mistake, just try it, and if it's messed up, then you can stop the project and start all over again. But more than likely, about between 95 and 80% of the time, the top stitch will cover it up, that I have found. So now what I'm going to do is, this is the step where it has the little twirls at the bottom. So I usually like to put the same color as I did for my seashell for this step as well. It kind of makes it nice and it matches really well. So that's where we're at now. So I believe there's like about 4 or 5 of them, little swirls on the bottom. Okay, now I went ahead and switched out the color, and these are going to be the little swirls on either side. And I did speed up the video so that this video wouldn't be an hour long, but I wanted to show you the whole process. Now in my next videos I probably won't do step by step, but I wanted to show you what I do. Now at the beginning of this video I didn't talk about how I hooped the material. So I had did a example stitch on just the stabilizer before I did this project, and so I knew how much vinyl I needed to cut out. And as you know, vinyl can become expensive, especially when you're using quite a bit for one project. So I only cut down as much as I need, and I just lay that on top. So the only thing that I hoop in here is the stabilizer. And currently, if you can see in the video, I used 2 layers of cutaway stabilizer. Now on this project you're supposed to use, no, I'm not sure what I said. I used 2 layers of tearaway stabilizer because it's pretty thin, and I wanted to thicken up the stabilizer because I don't have a cutaway. So that's why you see 2 layers here. The one on top is actually for a 4x4 frame, and this is, I'm working on a 5x7 frame. So like I was saying before, what I do is I just cut a piece of vinyl and then I float that on top. Now I do use the 505 temporary adhesive spray just to keep it secure so it doesn't move. But I mean, it's pretty heavy, it's not going to move even if you don't use it. But like I said, this is my third crown that I've made, and so I didn't want to take that chance. So right now we are on the mermaid stitch. Now with this stitch, it'll do a foundation, and then you'll think that it's done, but it's not, and then it'll reset and do the top layer. So there's like 2 layers of the mermaid. And what I'm using is like a dark purple for that. So this is the part, the back side. So after the mermaid, you want to take, you don't want to remove anything off the hoop. You just want to take the hoop off the machine. And as you can see, this is a piece of cutout of the glitter vinyl that I'm putting on the back. I used the 505 stabilizer, and I am using some painter's tape on the back. I don't think you need it, but like I said, this is only my third crown, so I just wanted to make sure. Now on this step, you want to use the same thread as you use as for your top, because you're going to be able to see the back. So what I had to do was I had to put some thread on a bobbin. So now this is basically the tack down stitch, and it's going to be the, it's not really the tack down stitch, it's basically what you're sandwiching the 2 layers, the front and the back together. So this is that stitch. And so I did fast forward this video because, like I said, I didn't want it to take too long. Now what the machine says is that it takes 19 minutes to do this design, and it goes by pretty fast once you get used to switching out the thread. Now I do have a single needle machine. I got the Baby Lock Flourish 2. I do have a Brother combo embroidery and sewing machine, but that size hoop is only a 4x4, and you can only do only do but so much on that. So that's why I went ahead and bought the Baby Lock Flourish 2. So now the whole project is done as far as the embroidery, and so I'm taking it out of the hoop, and as you can see, you're going to be able to see the back, so you want to make sure that your bobbin color is the same as your thread. And so now I'm just taking off the tape, and I'm going to cut it down so that it'll be easier for me to shape. And if you can see over on the left of the screen, there's these little Fisker scissors, and that's what I'm going to do to cut around the curve, because those are curved scissors, and it makes it come out so much nicer, and it's easier to work with. The scissors I'm using now are just some Dollar Tree scissors. I do need to invest in some fabric scissors because this is pretty thick and it's pretty hard on my hands to cut it out. So because it takes me so long to cut out the shape, I just do that off camera because I don't really think that you'd want to watch me do it. And so this part is where you're going to put the headband in, and it's a little stiff. So what I use is a crochet needle to open it up for me. And now I'm inserting the headband. I think I missed a clip where this headband is actually came in a pack of 6 from Dollar Tree, and it has fabric on it. But because this opening is so tight and rather small, if you leave the fabric on the headband, it's going to squish to one side, and it's very difficult to put it through. So I just went ahead and cut that off. And as you can see, I'm still having a hard time without the fabric on the headband. But then again, I don't have very strong hands, so it's a little harder for me to do. But it does really help to have something to open up the hole and loosen it up a little bit. And although this glitter vinyl canvas is pretty flexible, once you start stitching it, it's pretty difficult to put the headband in there. But this is my end product. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's so pretty. And this is the back side, and that's why you want to use the bobbin thread to be the same color as your top thread so that it can all coordinate beautifully. And that's it. And then I'm going to show you what I do with the little pieces that I used. I did a little, I was just playing around trying to see, and I cut it out from a mistake that I did. And so I still use these pieces of canvas to do my shells in the future, but this is the end product.